Hey, hey, hey.
What's happening,
Oh,
everyone?
howdy, kids.
Hello.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Give everybody a second to get in here.
There you go.
So what's going on there, absentee, Saxman, and Moose?
Living a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I was out today, working out in the yard and whatnot, admiring the police airship that was in my area, just loitering because I'm sure, some miscreants took a wrong turn somewhere. Living the dream, like you said.
Yeah, I'm just still above ground, so I guess a
That's a
good day.
plus. So they're trying to uh, read the National Rifle Association's um, response to uh, Pelosi's lapdog son-in-law about the 28th Amendment.
Probably send us more money and we'll try to figure it out.
Well, I'm not giving NRA any more money. Fuck them.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're 30 years ago they were a decent organization, but they've got more drama than the CW,
True.
and they're more than willing to let your rights get nickeled away, a little bit at a time, and keep telling you, give us that money so we can fight for you. Stop fucking negotiating.
Right.
So, but yeah. So what's going on in your end of the world, Vanguard?
Oh, waiting on the rain. Not a whole lot.
Do y'all know how the NRA was started?
How was it started?
During the Civil War, the Union generals were noticing that a lot of the soldiers didn't know how to shoot a rifle. And after the war ended, they came up. They said we need to have a group. We need to design a group that scientifically teaches people how and what the rifle, how to use it, how to shoot with. As they noticed, all the Southern infantrymen knew how to use a rifle. So that was essentially how it started.
That would make sense. I mean, but that just reinforces my whole statement. It sounds to me almost like if that's true, then it's almost like they're wanting to institute an organization that would help ensure that future generations knew their way around a firearm, so if there was ever a need to take up arms against a hostile force, they would be proficient.
Damn Yankees.
But they're not that way now. I mean, they've been about money for a long time. I knew they were about money the last time they did their right after Trump got elected. I went to their show here in Atlanta, and every year before that, the USCCA would be one of the people there, like a co-sponsor or whatever, and they would do their thing about the firearms insurance or the concealed carry insurance and all that. And at the last minute, they cut the USCCA out because they had instituted their own concealed carry insurance and wanted to spotlight that. So that kind of made me raise an eyebrow then. And ever since then, I've just been kind of like, yeah, nah, you're not getting more money.
A friend of mine was with the USCCA. He was talking about how great. I said, tell you what, tomorrow call and tell them you want to cancel your subscription and just see how they react. If they say, oh, we'll lower the cost and this and that, And I said, if they lower the cost, then do it. If not, drop it. I said, because essentially you can do everything that they're going to do anyway. Like get you a lawyer. Well, you can hire your own lawyer. I mean, it's not hard. And so he called the next day and they were like, okay, you want to cancel your membership? All right. And I mean, they didn't try to talk him out of it.
Yeah, but the difference for that is, Moose, yeah, you can hire your own lawyer and do your own legwork that they would do, but you're not going to have a plan that's backed by $700,000 to do your legal defense. That's what you're paying for. If you get in a shooting and you've got to go to court, you'll bankrupt yourself after a handful of appearances and paying for an attorney fee. With that policy, you don't have that issue, and it'll pay for everything from professional witnesses to whatever you need. I mean, that, I can think of worse things I could blow, a couple $100 a year on. That's all I'm saying. So, but that's just my opinion, to each their own. But yeah, I've never heard of them negotiating a price.
Well, like as if, for example, your cable bill or whatever, a lot of times you call it cancel it and tell them it's just because, I can't afford to pay $55 a month. They'll lower it to $45.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I've done that with XM Radio.
And, but that's another one, but for example, the CCA won't do that.
Well, no, but it's also not a utility. I mean, I can't call, like when I would take, for instance, when I was with State Farm, I couldn't call State Farm and tell them, hey, I need you to, I'm going to go ahead and cancel and go to this other company. Okay. Because all their stuff is set. Insurance isn't going to negotiate that way. I've never seen it.
To my knowledge, the CCA doesn't have a competitor either.
Doesn't have a what?
A competitor, another company that offers the same deal.
Yeah, they do. The NRA offers one, and there's 2 or 3 others. There's 4 or 5 different companies that do the same job. I can't remember there was one that Palmetto State Armory, I think, used to push a lot, and I know that the NRA has one that Cohen Noor used to be affiliated with, and he stepped the hell away from it.
He was with the NRA.
Yeah, he was, but then he stepped back. And there's a couple others, but I can't think of what they're called. But there are some. They do have some competitors. It's just the USCCA seems to be the biggest one. So, but they are an insurance policy. I think that's the difference. Oh, see, Highlander says there's 12 different companies. So, see, I just learned something.
I did too.
All right. Well.
So what do y'all want to cover the shooting up there?
Yeah, let's do the shooting. Let's do that first because
Let me pull it up because I want to be accurate.
okay.
Let's see here. I'm gonna leave that pulled up because I got something pulled up about the 28th Amendment. So I want to keep that.
Did you see what Hillbilly just said? We've been shadow banned.
Huh.
What did Vanguard do to get a shadow ban? Because I know it's nothing I said.
Well, if you put anything in there to do with amendments or shootings, they pretty much block you out. And plus, see, I'm not monetized, so they have no incentive to promote our videos.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find the best site that's going to give. All right, here we go. So those of you that are not aware, there was a shooting in Virginia at a high school graduation. One of those that was injured and ultimately lost their life, and his father, was an 18-year-old that was set to actually graduate. When I first seen it, it said after a graduation, but I think this was actually prerequisite.
No, it was right after it ended, Vanguard, I believe. That's what it's saying here. Minutes after the high school graduation.
All right. So the shooter was a 19-year-old man, boy, whatever you want to call it. So initially, they took two people into custody, and then wound up narrowing it down to the one. So the one that was shot was Renzo Smith, 36 years old, and Sean Jackson, 18 years old. This was a stepfather, stepson situation. A 9-year-old was actually hit by a car. They were treated at the scene, released later, and went to the hospital. Several people hurt. Let's see. So this happened at 5:13 p.m.
Yep.
When?
That would have been, what day was that? Tuesday?
I think it was Tuesday, and it was 5. It was Eastern time because it was in Virginia.
Yeah, it was 5. It actually happened while the news popped up on my feed about it while we were actually after we got done with the live, because I had to look.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I posted it, right?
Yeah, because that's when I saw it and said, "Oh fuck."
And I mean, I sent y'all a thing on it, right?
Yeah.
So let me see. I want to get the details on this thing here. I done forgot his name. I don't know.
Amari
Ty John.
Yeah, that. So he's already appeared in court. So they've got him on the fast track.
Well, here I'm going to ask a question here because I'm looking at an article about it as well, and it says he was arraigned Wednesday morning on 2 counts of second-degree murder. Okay, help me to understand the definition of murder. Okay, because it's apparent to me that he planned it. Okay, it's apparent to me, so that makes it premeditated, correct?
Well, I don't have any details that it was planned. I mean, they.
Well, no, this is just a talk.
Premeditation is, I go home and I sit down. Let's say I'm gonna shoot UT, and I go home and I know that you go to your mailbox every morning at 6 a.m. and I set up at 5:50. Right outside your mailbox, and then I plan it to a T and all that. That's the definition of premeditation.
Well,
Right.
I mean,
But see, like a mass shooting doesn't fall into that category. You see what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yes,
So
and
that's-
no.
so
It's kind of the gray area.
so instead of charging him with murder, they're going to charge him with a bunch of murder twos. And then
Right.
whatever other charges they can throw at him for all the people that got hit by poor.
Unless because they're actually suspecting that this may have been a targeted hit.
Well, yeah. I mean, wasn't he running and shooting at these people?
I don't have all the details on it, but what they're saying, and I don't want to speculate too much, but what I seen said on there is that it may have been from a prior event was the cause of it. Now, if that is the case, then it will not fall under second-degree murder.
it still could, but it couldn't. You know, it's kind of depending on circumstances and how it was planned and all that.
Well, second degree isn't that fall under kind of like an accidental murder?
No, second degree means you were trying to kill that person. You just
Did in the
that
heat of
was
the
the
moment.
first opportunity to do it, kind of thing, and you took it. Keyword there
sucked at
being
it.
opportunity.
Well, like right here, it says this Jackson Smith told the Associated Press, I guess this is the person that had the 9-year-old that got hit by the car, that their family watching the graduation got separated. She said from what she saw, the guy was just running and shooting. He walked up behind him and just started shooting him. So
Then that means he was trying to kill some people, but he didn't care who he was trying to kill, and that would be second degree.
he ran up behind the two people he killed, the people that he was targeting. That's what she's talking about. Now there may have been people in the way.
Did he plan it? That's the question. You know, was it set down, mapped out, planned that I'm going to kill him at graduation? You know, that kind of thing. That's the definition of premeditated. And then second degree is, like you just said, you run up behind them because that's the first opportunity you had to kill them, and you took it. Or when you decided you were going to kill them, and then you took it.
Well, they said, I
And then
understand what
and
you're saying.
then
I mean, that makes sense. I
manslaughter
guess.
is, you know, I didn't mean to kill them. It was an accident. You know, they lost their life, that kind of thing.
Well, and I'm reading the Virginia state law on this right here. First degree murder is premeditation. Second degree murder is not premeditated, which means they just showed up and just went to damn shooting and hit people.
Yeah.
Well,
So what I'm saying is, if there was any involvement with these people, between him and the ones that actually got murdered, if there was pre-involvement, or maybe they had an altercation prior to this event, that could change the lines of things. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
Because that goes from having random intent to having direct or malice intent on a certain person.
There you go.
Somebody there was a target.
Oh yeah.
I don't see some stuff like people just show up and say, well, I didn't get my GED, so I'm just going to shoot up the fucking place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. They said other guns were retrieved as well at the scene. So it wasn't just
right.
Amani or whatever the hell his name is. There were other weapons. So it was like
John.
everybody had a heater. I mean,
it sounds like old boy wanted to take out his whole senior class and and attendees in the process. But
no, I think he went after the people he went after. Now I think he may have hit some people in the process of getting them, but he specifically went after those two people. Everybody's saying that, I tend to believe that, because otherwise it'd been pray and spray.
All right. See, Virginia's got some weird laws. So another thing that would put it in second degree murder is a non-intentional death or kill, which means, if you got in a fist fight and you hit them and they fell down and cracked their neck on a sidewalk or something, and wound up being dead.
Yeah, but a good lawyer could argue that down to manslaughter.
Well, fun fact, in Virginia, manslaughter and second degree murder carry the same charges.
Interesting.
Which
So
is
it's just semantics at that point.
right. First degree murder in Virginia is life without possibility of parole. All right. Second degree is life sentence with the actually it says from 15 years to life in prison. So that's the big difference. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Life without parole or 15 years up to life without parole.
Well, my thing is that I'm willing to bet that whatever the beef was, it wasn't worth taking somebody's life. That's my first point. My second point is that, of course, the gun control folks immediately start touting gun control. We need to do something to stop this. We need to have common sense gun control enacted. Again, I will say it. I would like to reach through the screen and slap the shit out of people when they say that. Because there's no such thing as common sense gun control. Gun control in itself is ludicrous. Period. It's an infringement upon one of the cornerstones of our country. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Gun control wouldn't have stopped this because I guarantee you either Amari, he either A, got the weapon illegally or borrowed it, whatever the hell you want to call it. He shouldn't, and he proceeded to use it with ill intent. Okay? Gun control wouldn't have stopped any of that. He wasn't running around with an AR-15. It was a handgun. So you can't rattle that saber.
Okay.
I mean,
I just stumbled across what I mentioned earlier about they believed that there was prior engagements. So here it is. Amari Pollard, 19, was arraigned in court and faces 2 counts of second-degree murder. Officials said they believed the shooting was targeted and the result of an ongoing dispute. So if they prove that, it changes it.
Wouldn't that make it first degree?
Correct. Under the Virginia state laws.
Okay.
It would. Now, here's the thing. It could fall under a federal situation.
Murder is a state charge.
Not on school grounds or any type of school affiliated event.
Still, I believe that's still a state charge. Now, it goes back to the murders in Mississippi back in the 60s, where they murdered those 3 civil rights workers and all that, buried them in the dam. And, they were like, well, it's a state charge, you never get a conviction. They're like, yeah, but if we, charge them with violation of civil rights, that's a federal charge, and then we can get them on that. And they did get them on that. And then they got them on murder like 20 or 30 years later. But
well, in this situation here, if the DA does their job, they're gonna tack on more charges than just the murder because of all the people that got injured and all of that stuff that was a direct effect of him. So,
yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a stack of charges like this.
Hope so.
Normally, what DAs do is they charge the hell out of you, and then try you on the first half of the charges. That way, if you beat those, then you still got to go back for the second half.
Right.
And eventually they're going to get you.
Yeah, and I mean, the way that all that shit works is they could get you for a parking ticket and then tack on a bunch of shit and make it stick or try to make it stick. So it's kind of bullshit, but I mean, that's the way it is. This person here needs a speedy trial, a speedy conviction, and be taken out. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I would like
that's just like the motherfucker that ran over everybody in that parade. That was the longest bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and that was a hate crime. Man, let's throw that out there. That was a fucking hate crime. There ain't no other way.
It was a hate crime, but I don't know if y'all watched that trial. That was one of the funniest trials I think I've ever watched. It was better than anything Comedy Central could ever come up with.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was out there, but he was trying to get an insanity plea anyway. So, which didn't stick. But I mean, my idea is to strap his ass to the front of a damn Ford Escape, preferably the same color, and just go to driving around and running over shit.
I go running. I go in running into shit.
The boss just told me that he's going to trial next month on some other stuff, on the gun charges or something.
Talking about the parade guy?
Yep.
Oh, he had charges in Georgia. Savannah. Yeah. Matter of fact, he was out on bail and skipped bail and run up there.
Yep.
I'm surprised he wasn't somebody's neighbor.
It said that they offered. I was just told they offered him a deal and he refused it. What the boss just told me.
I'd offer him a deal. I give him a choice: copper-coated candy or a needle.
I wouldn't give him that choice.
I think I'd prefer to ask the families which would you prefer, because he's getting one or the other.
Everybody's the coup de grace.
I've always kind of been in favor of bringing back public hangings. I think that would.
Hey, I'm all for public hangings. I'll donate the fucking now on road.
You know,
man, cotton candy and popcorn sales would go through the fucking roof.
Bruh.
Yeah, would. Oh, roasted peanuts.
Man. Don't forget about funnel cakes.
Oh,
y'all
I love funnel
are all
cakes.
kind of laughing about this, but I'm
not. You know why? Because it was the norm for forever.
And I mean, you know, it would bring back what happens to you if you don't obey the law and, you know, do some crazy shit and all that.
We could sell Bud Light.
Yeah, hillbilly boiled peanuts.
No.
Really?
No.
Boiled peanuts.
No, you can sell the Bud Light to the protesters.
No Bud Light, boiled peanuts.
You buy the Bud Light, you can give the Bud Light to the protesters. I'm not buying Bud Light or any Anheuser-Busch product.
No, you're not listening, man. The profit margin would be astounding. But I think you can get like a case of Bud Light for $2 now. So if you sell them for $5 a piece, right? Look at the profit margin.
Well, Vanguard's officially sold out. Anyway.
Oh, no.
That's capitalism, buddy. It's not selling out.
Tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to make yourself be able to go to sleep at night. That's selling out in my book.
If I'm selling them to the enemy, I don't care.
Now, $10 a case, yes, I would definitely be in that boat with y'all.
So
hey, you do what you got to do to get some more ammo, man.
That's it.
That's true.
$20 is $20.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Saxman got a lot of things for $20.
Amen, brother.
Yep.
You don't know.
Facts.
Seeing shit.
Sax needs to change his name to the $20 man.
Hey, you know what? Again, $20 is $20.
Is that what the 2.0 stands for?
Stand for whatever you want it to stand for, Chief.
Oh shit. But anyway, you know, surprisingly, they put the identity out pretty quick.
Yeah.
It didn't have any marginalized, additives on it, but I'm sure there's something going to come out, eventually.
Did someone write a manifesto for him, or did he write his own, or what?
Well, he had an AR,
Ooh.
but he dropped it.
Oh.
Yeah, he dropped it.
He must have been French. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Bad joke.
Who had the AR and dropped it?
I'm just
French. I mean,
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I was thinking of a way to put it in there,
Well, an AR was at the crime scene, but the crime scene was in his car, which was 8 blocks away, which is an extension of his house. And since he lived there, it was at the scene. That's the logic they'll use, the DOJ. You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Can you get the
Absolutely.
crayon out?
Makes
And
perfect
explain it
sense.
again?
Oh, they'll be like, oh, he Googled one. He Googled an AR.
That's right.
So intellectually, he had an assault weapon.
No. I got it.
Okay,
I'm
I got
gonna
it
be
now.
really, really facetious. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? This is gonna be bad. So he Googled an AR because that was gonna be his preferred weapon, but he was oppressed, so he couldn't purchase this weapon. And it's all of y'all's straight white male Christians' fault.
You
Cis
know
male.
what? It's that whole damn what is it? The systemic racism.
I
Mhm.
thought y'all were going to say, and the Rothschild bank's fault with it. But anyway,
He was systemically oppressed, so he couldn't obtain the proper weapon to do mass harm. So he had to go with a high point.
Now, where the fuck is BLM at? Oh, never mind.
that's it. I'm starting a BLM chapter there because all they could afford was a high point. That's just not cool.
I don't know what kind of weapon he used. That was just me being facetious as well. I mean, just saying.
But I will take money and in cash payments. And if you need the address or whatever to mail it to, I can give it to you.
Well,
And that I promise you, all the funds will go toward not being oppressed and all that. We'll fight for those rights. I promise.
okay. You're going to go ahead and shine some shoes for some folks and show them that you don't think you're above them.
That's
Is that
it.
what you're telling me?
That's it. All for cash.
Okay.
Just
You're
like
going to
Chick-fil-A
take.
guy.
Yeah, he's going to take a page out of the playbook of Dan Cathy.
Right.
What I would like to see is over the next few days, weeks, however they try to press this whole story, because this isn't going to get traction. This shooting will not get traction. They'll try and bury this motherfucker by this weekend.
I will not let them. I will not let them. I will mention it on every single fucking live.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm right, because they can't spin it. Unless they can prove that the kid who got shot was partially Hispanic, white, Chinese, Muslim, removed 30 times so they can say he was a white nationalist, they're not going to let this, they're not going to keep this in the mainstream. There's no way for them to spin it.
Well, I heard the shooter had a Dallas, Texas tattoo on his hand. I'm just saying.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. I'd forgotten about that.
Not me. I don't forget none of that bull. I'm being a straight up dick tonight. So
Hey, get her done.
But you're right. They're gonna try to, kick it under the damn rug. There's no YouTube videos out there at all about this, right?
Nope.
But any other situation, there would be everybody talking about it. And yeah, I'll call them out. I'll call out the Hodge twins. I'll call out Officer Tatum. I'll call them all out. I hope they see this shit.
Yeah.
Hit the like while you're here.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that no coverage. No coverage.
If they do cover it, it'll be somewhere down the road after it's no longer, something's relevant per se. It'll be like an afterthought.
Well, I'll say this. Normally, when stuff first comes out, they don't have really all their facts, but they try to act like they're facts. And then a day or two later, then, all the facts do actually come out.
Mm-hmm.
And the people always want to be first instead of being right. And I think it's more important to be right than be first.
Yeah, but that don't get them ratings. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So that you're absolutely right. But what'll happen, like I said, let's watch this over the next week or so. Let's see what develops. We're gonna probably have to hunt for the information because, like I said, they're gonna bury it. They're not gonna want it. They're not gonna want it to turn out to be. And this is not me saying this is what it is. It's just me talking. They're not gonna want to get out there and say, "Oh, it was about drugs or bullying or anything like that," because they're not. They can't push an agenda because it just reinforces the whole problem is there to begin with. I mean, yeah, they can push the racial thing and say, well, the reason they got in altercations because systemic racism. They weren't able to do anything better, so it's the white guy's fault because they scuffled. It's our fault. We did it some kind of damn way. No. Fuck you. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. Fuck you for playing the race card because that's the only way they're trying to spin it. That's just my 2 cents.
Where the fuck is Al Sharpton now?
You know what? Well, Al Sharpton trying to dodge the IRS with the 85,000 new IRS agents. But anyway, what they need to be saying is one American killed another American.
They'll never do that, Moose, because
No.
that would require them to stop talking about racism and race baiting, because that's how they keep people. The one thing the media and the government thoroughly fucking enjoys and gets a joygasm from every time they fucking do it is to keep anybody of a different nationality or complexion fighting amongst themselves, because we're so busy fucking hating each other and trying to do whatever that they think they're smarter than we are and they can get up there and do whatever the fuck they want. And so it's all smoke and mirrors. They hate to see a black man on the side of the road broke down, a white guy stop and help him, or vice versa. That just their shit goes ape shit. They can't stand it because that they don't want that. They don't want us to get along. I mean, how many times do you watch the fucking news and you see anything positive like that? You don't. So.
And you won't.
Nope.
You won't.
Biggest fear they have is us actually coming together and stop fighting over stupid shit.
Do you remember when y'all's president, Hussein Obama, was
not my president? I didn't vote for that.
Easy.
But anyway, you remember when he and this, every time this happens, this pops into my head when gosh, that guy, and was it not in DC or something like that, or Virginia, and he gets called out on the cops being the bad guys, especially the white cops being the bad guys against all the oppressed melanated folk, and turns out there was no, in my head, that was like the start of what's happened over the past few years. That gave it gas, because Mr. Obama was the one that said it.
Yep. We didn't have any of this until his sorry ass was sitting in the White House. We didn't have defund the police. We didn't have BLM. We didn't have Antifa. Check your facts. His ass gets in office, starts that fire, and then sits the fuck back. Oh, and don't forget that the U.S. dollar got fucking devalued while his sorry ass was in there too.
I'll take you a step further if you like. What's America's national pastime?
What is it?
Y'all-
I know what it
Would
used
y'all
to be.
say baseball, maybe?
Used to be.
All right. Well, when Obama got in office after a couple of years, he took that away and made it killing a cop.
Well, I mean, Nowadays, I'd say national pastime is drag shows and
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah.
Well, look it up. The statistics don't lie. Cops being shot or shot at, things like that, went through the roof after about his third year in office.
Right, because he pushed that whole defund the police bullshit. Remember all the stuff that happened in fucking Ferguson under his watch? And the dude in Florida, he was Hispanic white racist.
Oh yeah.
Remember that shit?
Just want some Skittles.
You know. And,
Well,
he pushed that agenda.
Let me see.
What was the name of the guy in Florida, Vanguard? Do you remember?
Uh,
The guy's dad was a judge, if I remember correctly. Big, heavy-set dude. He was Hispanic. A wannabe cop. He was like a security guard or some shit. I can't think of his name.
hey, you know what else we hadn't checked up on?
What's that?
Maybe y'all did. Y'all remember what was his name? Othal Wallace.
Oh yeah.
So did we ever do an update on that?
No, we did not. I mean, I remember me and Saxman went by where
Oh yeah.
Hood Rat Wallace was hiding.
Reconnaissance. So get this. Wallace has been charged with first-degree murder of law enforcement officer and will receive the death penalty.
Good.
Hot dog.
That's because it was in Florida. Good.
Says, let me-
Ozone.
yeah, so he was charged.
Now, wasn't he affiliated with?
Yes.
In fact,
Yes. He certainly was. Because that's where he went and hid, right?
mm-hmm.
Fucking piece of shit. I mean, outstanding citizen.
Oh, I mean, a pillar of the community.
Upstanding citizen. Not outstanding, upstanding.
Well, I wasn't going to say upstanding.
You know, because he's standing up right now. Soon he'll be laying down.
Well, I mean, thug life, right? I mean, he murdered a cop in Florida. I mean, that's like murdering a Texas Ranger in Texas.
Yeah.
You fucked up. You're not getting across. If you leave, they are going to find you and bring you the fuck back.
Do not go.
Oh, T, I need to send you a picture of speaking of Texas Rangers. So my son bought a K5 Blazer, right?
Ooh,
Guess what it was? And guess where it came from? It was a Texas Ranger K5 Blazer.
Nice.
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. We looked up the VIN numbers, get the information all on. I was like, man, that's badass.
Yeah, K5's a nice ride, dude.
Yeah.
It really is.
I kind of want to go buy some $500 stretchy jeans and a fucking cowboy hat. and cut everything off and just have one hell of a mustache.
You don't have a cowboy hat?
I do. I got a Cabrero, and you want one.
A Cabrero?
But you want one. You ever seen them?
I don't know what a Cabrero is.
Oh, goodness. You about to find out. I'm going to put it on the screen.
I've got two.
What
I got
are you
one
doing,
for
Tim?
cold weather.
Okay.
Oh my God, he's bald.
Hey, Dios mío.
I got that one.
Man, you need to wear that all the time, dude.
And
That's
I got
it.
this
Now on your lives, you got to wear a cowboy hat.
That's the fall hat.
Yep, I got a fall one and a summer one.
Yeah.
So you want me to wear the summer one, huh?
No, we want you to wear the fall one now because it's hot
Nah.
as hell. It makes you sweat.
There we go.
There you go. Feels like home.
I don't know if I
Cowboy
can get a
Roy.
cowboy hat.
Samuel L. Jackson, Cowboy Roy.
All right. Let me.
I think SLJ rocked it a little better, but anyway, that's just my opinion.
Wasn't it purple?
Might have been that or
Pink.
pink.
Well, we ready to jump over about Nancy Pelosi's little lapdog son-in-law, nephew, wherever the fuck he is.
I was about to say, your lapdog, does it drink vodka too, or? But
I'm sure there's all kinds of fruity shit he drinks. I mean, after all, he is on the left coast.
But since you're actually talking about a person, then I know that they probably drink more than vodka. But
Well, I got a legal question here, and I'm no lawyer, so I'm going to go ahead and ask. Can you actually make another amendment to water down a previous amendment?
you can make another amendment, but it takes like an insane amount of votes in the House and Senate, and then pass to the president and all that. And I think it has to go to a vote in the U.S. too. But now,
Would you not have to have a convention of states to do that?
yes, and now with that being said, to override or whatever a previous amendment, that I don't know. And I'm not a lawyer. I just took civics in ninth grade 4 or 5 years ago, and but I don't know. I'd have to go ask my civics teacher, and my civics teacher died a couple of years ago. So anyway, he was old. He was like really old.
Well, don't get in a rush to ask them.
Yeah. I really don't want to. Coming back to answer your question might be a little difficult.
Well, I guess I don't understand how you can make an amendment to the Constitution to water down a previous amendment that's one of the foundations of our republic. I don't understand how you can do that.
Wouldn't it be easier just to amend the amendment?
I don't know. I mean, the whole idea that this dumb son of a bitch is sitting there trying to say, well, most of the country's behind this idea, even Fox News. Are you smoking the shit you're shoveling? Because I guarantee you, the majority of law-abiding citizens in the country who appreciate the fact that if some shitbag tries to threaten them or their family, they can give them a permanent fucking dirt nap, is not interested in anything to impact the Second Amendment. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean,
The
Wow.
last line
So-
of that amendment, I believe, doesn't it say shall not be infringed?
yeah.
And if you're trying to essentially create another amendment to water down or whatever that amendment, isn't that infringing on the Second Amendment?
Well, that's my whole point. Yes, it seems to me it is. But that's why I don't understand. It seems to me it's a direct infringement, regardless of how you do it. Any infringement is an infringement. You can't pick and choose.
So it seems to me what would happen, and I can tell you how they would actually have to do it, but it seems to me you would have to do the whole public opinion thing of, if you were going to get rid of an amendment, you would have to, or okay, say they got enough folks in the Supreme Court, and you actually had to have different cases to back this up, where instead of being a defense of your person, which is defense of your family, stuff like that, which is what lately it has been, the whole Second Amendment thing, because they tend to leave the whole militia part out. But you would have to get people that would sympathize with okay, it has to be a well-regulated militia instead of defense of my family and self and my, the people that are around me. So you would have to win that. And nowadays I don't see that as such a weird, hard thing to do. Now, 10, 20 years ago, yeah, no, everybody would have been, get out of here, hippie. But now I could see them at least, if not getting the support, at least manufacturing the support. Not that anybody in the federal government ever manufactures information. I would never say that.
I know that, I'm quite sure there's just a line of Confederate and Union soldiers waiting to throw their support behind such an amendment.
Oh, yeah. So, you were asking about the whole making the amendment. And I know before a while back we had covered that in some training. But, yeah, so they have to propose the amendment. 2/3 of both the houses of Congress have to say yay to it. And if 2/3 of the states request one, you get a convention of states. And then it's got to be ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures, or 3/4 of the conventions called in each state for ratification of the amendment. So, yeah, I'm sure you probably get quite a few states that would, but that would be like right there would be your line of delineation as to your patriots and your sheep.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a real clear indication of if you were really trying to divide the country, you propose this in Congress, and you will find out.
I'm gonna say this, and y'all can call me crazy or whatever, but y'all probably already do, and I'll agree with you. But look at the Volstead Act. People thought that would never pass, and look what happened with that.
Oh, yeah.
People never in this country thought that alcohol would be illegal, and all of a sudden, bam, it's illegal. And then a couple of years later, they had to repeal that.
People like their booze.
Oh, yeah. So I'd never discount the fact, like, if these people get it in their head that they want to repeal the Second Amendment, and they think they have a chance of doing it, don't ever think that they won't try it.
Oh, no. I fully believe that they're floating this 28th Amendment bullshit for a reason. This is another attack.
Yeah.
Let's just get out in front of it now and call it what it is. And if they can get that seed to take root, then they're going to keep adding water and fertilizer to it. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If they're already talking like this, the seed's been planted.
Well, again, it's an infringement. And yes, like Hillbilly and Highlander both said, things have already been infringed. This is just another infringement. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's the NFA is an infringement. There's all kinds of infringements. But, it's going to take people to wake the fuck up and start stopping this shit. And right now, this is just yet another death by 1,000 cuts. And I think you're right. If they were trying to push something like this, you would see far more division than you see now.
Oh yeah.
So you can take from that what you want.
I'll stick to my original statement of if they're talking like this already, that means that they're planting the seed or have planted the seed already.
Absolutely.
And they get ready because they're going to start watering it down until they get.
Oh yeah, you're going to see this become it. Mark my words. I would not be surprised if you don't see some fucktard running for office touting we're going to make the 28th Amendment happen.
And
glad you could join us.
And I guarantee you, you will see a spike in quote unquote mass shootings. The closer that anything like that comes to
No.
You're also probably going to see a spike in ammo sales and gun sales, but
I that's another thing.
9mm costs $50 a fucking box again if you can find it. But you're not insinuating that there might be some third parties out there helping to do a few fundraisers to push an agenda, are you?
No,
they wouldn't have to do all that. All they have to do is just send the film crew up to the south side of Chicago for a weekend.
I would never say that, Las Vegas shooter. I would never say stuff like that. No, I'm not gonna. I won't ding us on that.
Well,
but I guarantee it will happen.
Oh, you know it, and you can say it's from whatever reason, whether it be manipulation or it's just somebody sees so much being talked about it, it puts the idea in their head. Hey, this is my 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to happen.
Yep. Well, what kills me? So, okay, you have all these countries that basically gave away their freedoms. Australia, Canada, England, Serbia. Did you see that thing coming in?
Hang on.
Yeah, Serbia. Man. So Serbia they're saying, hey, you have so many days to go ahead and give up your any weapons that you have, and after that there is no grace period after that. After that, they're coming for you because in a lot of those countries over there, it's super hard unless you've got your great grandfather's service rifle from Second World War stowed away somewhere. The amount of paperwork so they can track you.
Mm-hmm.
And they will come for you and your guns, and you probably won't even be seen again. But yeah, in all these countries that they have taken away, they don't have as many, gun deaths anymore, or deaths by people using guns. They have a lot of stabbings. They have a lot of hammerings. They don't live in peaceful utopias.
Don't forget about the trucks and cars.
Oh, yeah, trucks and cars. Knives, cutlery. I mean, who was it? Was it England that banned sharp knives and shit like that now? Mm-hmm. So, you're going cutting your veggie steak with a butter knife.
Spork.
Yeah, with your spork. I mean, God.
Hey, Saxman, if I'm not mistaken, Australia did not give up their rights. They sold their rights back to the government.
Yeah, well, you know what? The government never owned my rifle. The government never owned my pistol.
You are correct, but I'm just telling
you. And I know what you mean.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's correct. But Australia is a different beast, too. And they already had insane gun laws as it was. I mean, if it wasn't a bolt action that held 3 rounds, you couldn't have it.
Yeah.
The United States is, for lack of a better term, and this may get us hot water, may not, we're probably the only free country on the globe, modernized free country, that allows anything that has a magazine on it.
the number one question I get asked, is I've got friends that overseas that live overseas and stuff. But the number one question from Australia that people ask me is, "Do you own a gun? What's it like? What's it like to own a gun? What's it like to shoot a gun?" That's the number one question I get asked.
Right, because if they don't live out in the bush, they don't have one. Period.
And then
You're
when
absolutely right.
I've asked them, I'm like, "So, what do you have to do to own a gun? Where you?" And when they start telling me, I'm just like, about halfway through it, I'm going, "Okay, when does this end?" Because it's just like, all right, you do this, and then when you get that back, you got this, and then you get that back, then you have to fill out this paperwork and send this off. And I mean, it's like you're literally chasing your damn tail.
Yeah. Yeah. Same way in England.
In England, if I'm not mistaken, you can own a shotgun, but you have to be a part of a shooting club or something like that. And the gun has to stay at the club. You go and you check it out, use it at the club, and then take it back to the armory at the club and turn it in, if I'm not mistaken.
I think if you live in rural parts of England, you can have a shotgun or some kind of hunting rifle, maybe, depending on what it is.
I don't
But it
think
has to be locked up when it's not like being used to hunt pheasant or fend off wolves from your sheep or wherever the hell it is. You have to have it locked up. If a constable comes to your home and that weapon is not secured in the government approved lockbox, your ass gets charged and they take the weapon.
I don't think it's. I think it's the other way. I think it has to be at a shooting club or something. It can never leave. The weapon can never leave those grounds. I think. That one, like I said, I'd have to do some research on and really look up. But from what brief research I've done on it and stuff, if you own a shotgun, it's got to stay at the shooting club and then at the armory, and then you go get your weapon at the armory and use it on the grounds, and then take it back and check it back into the armory.
Well, according to what I'm looking here, now granted this is Wikipedia, so you can take your you can own a handgun, that's out. But you can own a rifle or shotgun, but the licensing is through the police. And some handguns are allowed in certain places like Northern Ireland, Channel Islands, Isle of Man. But it's very very obscure, very limited. I'm sitting here looking at some different things here. They got several different. You can't have. I don't think you have a semi-automatic shotgun with a magazine capacity more than 2 shots, and it only can be used for certain things. There's a bunch of different things added in there. I'd have to read more into it, but I know I was reading an article years ago, and something to do with if you wanted to, like, I want to say if you wanted to skeet shoot or something, I forget. Somebody would have to come to your house and set everything up. It's like you couldn't do it.
That's why I said that the gun has to stay at a shooting club. And,
No, this was at their house. What I saw.
I mean, from what I read, it was the gun had to stay at the shooting club at the armory, and then you go check it out, the gun out, and then go shoot, and then bring it back to the armory. And the gun never leaves the grounds of the shooting club.
Well,
I mean, it was weird. But this was like 10, 15 years ago. I looked off, I was actually kind of curious and just kind of read into a little bit of it.
yeah. Well, they've got a bunch of different. They got laws on different kinds of guns. It's weird. I'd have to read more into it, and that's just me glancing over it. But it is what it is.
I mean,
we don't do that, thank God.
Until here recently, Canada was like the U.S. as far as gun laws and stuff. And now you can't sell a pistol in Canada. You can't buy a pistol in Canada. You can't. I don't even think it's legal to own a pistol in Canada anymore. And then now they're going after the rifles and shotguns, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I know at one point pistols the only way you could have them in Canada if you were civilians if you were in a sporting club. Now, I know that. I remember that from years ago, but I don't know. I don't know any more than that. And like I said, I'd have to go back and research that too. But you can rest assured that the people in power here would love for us to follow England or Canada or China, whoever would oppress us the most and make it where we don't have a voice. That's what they want. Cat, actually, I saw that just a little while ago. More bullshit, in my opinion.
So I wonder, is Obama, Bush, or Biden going to be charged as well? Since
No, they're not.
since the bed shitter had him sitting in his garage by his Corvette.
Look, the bed shitter had a garage in a very secure, like almost skiff area. That's where he keeps the Corvette. He has his priorities right.
Yeah.
Well, I think what it was,
you got to protect that bed.
well, I think the bed shitter is covered because he had his mixed in with his coloring books. So they felt very concealed.
Come on, man.
Where the hell's my toaster strudels?
Ooh.
Joe knows how to color. I'm impressed.
I didn't say he could color well. I just said his coloring book's probably out there in the boxes with it. So,
All right.
I bet he's one of those pricks that can stay in the lines too.
I bet he eats more of the crayons than he draws with them.
Probably.
Send them off to school and they eat the crayons.
I bet he'd fuck up a jar of paste.
Oh, yeah. Be like a lick'em stick.
That's what I'm saying, man. I never could grasp when I was a kid people eat that shit. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well,
I mean,
when you don't get a meal at home, you got to get a meal somewhere.
Fucking fetty chips.
Fatty chips and cornstarch. Nom, nom, nom.
Well, I just want to acknowledge this. I know we're all kind of laughing right now, but I want to say something, talk about something serious. 6/6. Does that ring a bell with anyone? Why we
What'd
need
you
to remember
say?
that date? June 6th.
what happened on June 6th?
Well, I think it was 1943.
Oh, D-Day?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to acknowledge the men that I think I read this year there's only like 140 men still alive that fought for the Allies that were in that battle.
Right.
And we need to remember what they were fighting against and what they were fighting for. And had they not taken that beach, we would have lost that war.
Yeah, you're right. We would.
Well, the English would have lost.
Yeah, it would. The war will last a lot longer.
Yeah.
Well,
The English would have lost. I don't know if we would have lost.
oh no, they were going after world domination, and we would have, they would have come in, North America next, and
So that's a good thing about being in North America. There's a big ass body of water between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. It's a shame that they get one day, and all the turd punchers get all the pride folks get a month. So
do
Well-
any of y'all know anyone that fought that was there?
No.
not on D-Day, but yeah, in the Second World War, yeah.
Vanguard?
What was it?
Do you know anyone that fought in the battle for the beach of Omaha or in D-Day?
I do not.
All right, my uncle's dad. He fought, and he was actually in the 101st Airborne and made the jump on D-Day, and he never talked about it. And when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I had to write a school paper about World War II, you know, talk to a veteran, that kind of thing. And my dad said, go talk, you know, to Mr. James. And I said, Mr. James, you know, he won't talk to me about it. And he goes, he will if you ask him. And I went and talked to him, and that's when he told me that he made the jump on D-Day, and all he would say about it, he said that, and I remember this, and I don't know why I remember this over everything he said. He said they would line them up, you know, 50, 100 men at a time. A priest would walk by them, read them their last rites, throw some holy water at them, and then they'd go get on the planes or ships or whatever. And he said that, you know, he thought it was bad, you know, in that plane. He said then when he got out and just made his jump, he said when he got on the ground, he said no history book will ever get it right. And that's all he said about it. And then I asked him a few questions and stuff, and he kind of deflected the questions. It was like he just didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to think about it. And he was wounded before the Battle of the Bulge and all that. And it was in England. And then after he healed up all that, he got shipped back to Europe, and then was there in Europe the rest of the war. So it was something that if you get a chance, you know, you ever meet one of those veterans, just go up to them and thank them, because they literally saw hell on earth, the impression that I got. I mean, I couldn't imagine being in a crowd of, you know, 100 people at a time, a priest walking by, reading me my last rites, throwing holy water at us, just hoping some of the holy water hits you and, you know, going to fight and die.
See, I need to do something right quick. I'm going to show you something, Moose, that you'll appreciate with your story there. Let me turn off my background here so you can see it. I don't know if you can see that. What is that?
I see a flag back there.
Yeah, look at it closely. What's weird about it?
It's only got 48 stars.
That's correct.
So that was pre-World War II, or World War II era, actually, because I've got one that's got 48 stars on it, and my brother has one that has 49.
Yeah, see, that's 48 there, and that was actually involved in it, in the war.
In like D-Day or?
No. Well, I'm not certain. I just know it was in World War II.
Okay.
That flag made it back. It's actually got holes in it where it took some hits. And the material it's made out of, man, it's more like it's definitely 100% cotton, and each star is actually sewn on there. I mean, they're like hand stitched.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that I've got a cousin of mine. She was an old bridesmaid, didn't have any kids or anything. But when she passed away, my brother, my sister, and myself inherited everything of hers. And she had, you know, some flags that flew outside of the VFW. I don't know how she got them, but one of them had 48 stars on it, and she had written that, you know, in the white part, and they had them folded up correctly. And then 49 stars. And my brother got the one with 49 stars. I got the one with 48 in it. And I mean, you're right. It is. It is not this nylon crap that, you know, they do now. It's It's a pretty heavy flag.
Yeah, and I mean this one here, man. You could basically use it as a blanket. I mean that's just how well made it is. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been running for hour and 15 minutes, so we're gonna do our close outs. I'm actually gonna mix it up. T, you get to go first.
All righty. Well, for all you out there, again, I ask you to pay attention to what's going on around you locally and nationally, because evil never sleeps. If you don't carry, you need to, because it may be a choice of you standing between evil and your loved ones, and you'd rather have 10 to try it than 6 to carry you. That's all I got.
Absolutely. All right, Moose.
All right. Well, kind of touch on what T is saying. I'm going to drive it on home with one thing, and then I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Just remember this. You'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So, and then secondly, if you're trying to conserve water, and this is my piece of advice, okay? If everyone out there is trying to conserve water, if you are, hey, that's great. That's on you. But if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Fuck. Good luck, Sax man.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, man. Hey, don't trust your government. Question everything. Like T and Vanguard say often, be grateful with what you got and the people around you. Love on them. And that's what I got, man.
Absolutely. Man, I'm gonna start going first. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't leave you with much, do we?
No, not really. The only advice I got for you is don't have Bellinis with Mulvaney, I guess.
Oh, damn.
Oh, by the way, he came out as being a lesbian, just so y'all know. That happened today or yesterday.
Who did?
Dylan Mulvaney.
Who's that?
Huh. That is the Bud Light spokesperson.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that opens up a whole nother round of questions.
Next show, damn it. Next show.
Fuck.
I got to leave y'all with something.
Oh, God.
Y'all are like, man, why don't you lead off with that shit next time? Anyway.
Lesbian? Wow. I mean, I've been telling people for years I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Oh, God. You can't say that now. You can't say that.
That's what they told me 20 years ago, too. But,
No, somebody's going to have a whole bunch of Clorox. Jeez.
All right. So nobody said this one. So y'all be safe out there. Carry always. Stay frosty. Head on a swivel. Right? I just wrapped everybody's shit up into one. Don't squat with your spurs on. Don't piss in the wind. All that good stuff, right? But anyway, thank y'all for coming by. It was a fun show.
What about water conservation?
Water conservation. If it's brown, it's down. If it's yellow, let it mellow.
There you go.
That's kind of my philosophy on alcohol. Anyway. So
there you go.
All right, good night, everybody. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Y'all have a good weekend. It's supposed to be nice here. Getting hot, actually. But if you can get out. Spend time with the family. Get your kids, drag them out in the woods. Not in a violent way. Go show them the nature.
Wait, I can't drag my kid out in the woods in a violent way?
No, not in a violent way.
Well, why not?
I guess it depends on the context.
Okay. He's not going to like it. But then again, he doesn't like going in the woods anyway. Anyway, so.
All right.
At
Well,
least not with me.
y'all take care. Everybody that came in on the chat, good to see y'all. Like I said, if y'all want to get on here, let us know. We got plenty of spots. Anyway, y'all have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Good night, y'all.
Everybody. Peace.